Hi friends, welcome back to the Minimal Mouse. Today we're going to talk about taking your littles to Disney. So the first thing we need to decide with any Disney vacation is when we're going to go, how long we're going to go, where are we going to stay, and how are we going to get there. Now, with little people, this poses some special challenges. So when to go? I prefer the cooler months. I love the beginning of September. Um, I also like to go in January, right after the kids go back to school from Christmas break. In the spring, like April, March can be good as long as you're missing those spring break times and Easter. Stay away from any kind of holiday weekend. How long should we go? Well, I suggest at least 7 days if you're going to take little kids and go to all four parks. So you have plenty of time to rest and some time to get in the pool. Where should you stay? Closer to Magic Kingdom, the better. Because honestly, that is what we're going to be doing is going to Magic Kingdom every day, right? So the closer you can get to Magic Kingdom as your budget allows, the better. We stayed at Contemporary and we thought it was absolutely wonderful. We walked right through. We went right through security before we got in the park. And it was just like the easiest option for us to get back and forth for naps and breaks. But if you can't do that, you can always stay somewhere along the Skyliner. We also really enjoyed the Skyliner because we could get those kids on the Skyliner and just kind of like take a break and they'll fall asleep while you're riding around on the Skyliner. It makes it really easy to get to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. It's like an entire ride in itself. So if you can't do the monorail loop, try to stay on the Skyliner loop with little kids. They will love it, I promise. So should we fly or should we drive? Well, I would say if you're within a day's drive, drive it. Or if you have the extra time to spend, your kids are good in the car, give it a drive. Otherwise, flying poses a complete total other issues. You got your strollers, you got your car seats, you got all this stuff, plus your bags to get through airport, to get through security. It is quite a lot to take along with you, but it is definitely very doable. A lot of families do it every single day, and a lot of kids are really good at flying. I do like having car seats for the flights and them having their own seat just because it's so simple. They can fall asleep better. They're used to that seat. And honestly, it's safer when you get there than you have your car seats too. Preparing the kids for Disney, I would definitely say, you need to get out and walk. I log about 20,000 steps a day when we're in Disney. And I try to cut back on walking back and forth across the park. So you could probably do a lot more than that. Make sure everyone has comfortable shoes. Get out in the evenings with your family and walk. Get those kids used to walking a few steps. Even if they're going to be mostly riding in the stroller, they will be walking some. Also, if you don't have a Disney Plus subscription yet, get one. Start watching those Disney movies that maybe your family is not familiar with, the kids are not familiar with. You don't want them to be completely scared of the characters they don't know in the park. I can't imagine like Big Blue coming at them and they haven't seen the Jungle Book and they have no idea who Baloo is. That would be kind of frightening for toddlers. So make sure that they at least have an idea of who the characters are that they might see in the parks. Okay, so you got all that figured out. Now we're ready to pack our bags. Don't overpack. Do not overpack. I was that mom. That had several outfit changes. I had different shirts for who we were going to see in the parks. The kids would change shirts before they seen certain characters. It was a hassle. It was overwhelming. Do not be that mom. If you want to take some cute pictures, pick out just a few adorable outfits that you want your kids to wear to meet certain characters or to do certain activities to get the pictures. But overall, pack lightweight, fast drying, comfortable clothes that your kids like to wear. Do not want some screaming toddler and an itchy princess dress. Believe me, it's a good way to ruin a vacation. Also, about overpacking in clothes, bring mix and match clothes. Don't bring set outfits. If you do, I have a little tip. put it in a Ziploc, like this is her outfit or his outfit for each day. I also like to carry extra Ziploc bags for snacks, but we'll get to that in a minute. But pack Ziploc bags for sure. Make sure you pack practical shoes for your kids. Eva is a socks and Crocs girl. Comfortable shoes, preferably ones that are meant to get wet and that won't leave blisters. Like I said, they will be walking a little bit. They cannot have their strollers in line for rides. You will be walking some with these children. And another good way to ruin your trip is to have a miserable little kid with blisters on their feet. Also, don't forget, you can totally do laundry there at your resort. While the kids swim, the laundry is usually really near the swimming pool, and you can wash some clothes while you relax by the pool. A few options for resort delivery, and you do not have to pack diapers, wipes, all this other stuff that your kiddo might need or that you might need while you're in the parks. Do yourself a favor, Amazon Now it, have a Walmart delivery. I will link the Ear for Each Other Facebook page down below. And there are several services, several people out there that will deliver groceries, deliver necessities right to your resort so you do not have to pack all that and take it down there. The resort gift shops always have a few medications, but it's not a huge selection. So carry what is appropriate for your child with you. Also, I always pack blister band-aids specifically and antibiotic ointment. Toddlers like familiar faces, so throw in a few of their special toys. Remember, the more, I say a few, like 2 to 3. The more toys you take, the more apt you are to lose them. We have lost toys in the park. We lost a Figment and we lost a Ted. In the parks, had to replace them. Take a few of their favorites, but don't take so many that it makes it a hassle. Absolutely pack an extra duffel bag. There are going to be things in the park that you and your kids want to buy. You do not want to have to shove this in your bag on the way home. Just pack an extra duffel bag that folds up easy, throw it in your bag. So let's talk strollers and car seats. There's really only 2 options for strollers. You can either take your own, you can rent one. I guess you could buy one when you get down there. But so if you have a nice stroller that you know how to use, you're familiar with it, it folds up easily and it works well for your kids, take it with you. Check with Disney. They have some stroller requirements. The larger strollers and the big wagons are not allowed at Disney anymore. So check Disney webpage for the stroller requirements and take your own with you if it travels easily. Now, when you rent a stroller, there's a couple of options. You can rent it right from the Disney park that you're going to that day, use it for the day, and return it. The drawback to this is you have to return it when you leave. So when you've got sleepy kiddos at the end of the day, or you're leaving the park for a break to go home and take a nap, guess what? You have to leave that stroller there, and you have to take those children and carry them because they're going to be too exhausted to walk. I have always went down and rented a stroller. We've had great luck. We pick it up at the airport. We leave it at the airport. It's a very nice, like baby jogger or city mini. So, if you want that information on who I use for my stroller rental, I know they also rent pack and plays, ECVs, wheelchairs. Just send me a message and I'll be happy to give you that information. If you're bringing your own stroller or renting a stroller, some stroller must-haves. Number 1, rain cover. It rains every day in Disney. You are going to be surprised. Like, you will come out from a show or a ride and all of a sudden everything in your stroller is wet because you've had a little pop-up shower. So bring a rain cover. The next thing is carabiners. Carabiners are absolute lifesaver for real. I have a couple of large carabiners and then I have the smaller carabiners, and I just hook them on there, put our hats, our water bottles, our backpack goes on a carabiner. I love the stroller organizers that go across the back. And make sure you have a snack tray for the kiddos so they can have their cup and their little snack and all that they need while they're tootling around the parks with you. Stroller name tags are also a must. Good stroller rental company will put a name tag on there for you. There's lots of places on Etsy where you can have these special, beautiful stroller name tags made. I also like to put a little very colorful ribbon on the back of our stroller and tie it on there. Nothing too special, just like some cute Disney ribbon or something that I have laying around the house. I'll just throw it in my bag when we go. And that way it makes our stroller easily identifiable, because guess what? There are more strollers there than there are people, and you will not be able to find your stroller. So even if you think you left it somewhere, sometimes they get moved around and you will not be able to find your stroller. So have something on your stroller to identify it. Some people say tie a balloon to your stroller, but unless you want that balloon whacking you in the face the whole time you're walking down Main Street, USA, don't do it. When we're talking about car seats, we have to talk about our transportation needs. So, are you flying and do you need to ride from the airport to your hotel in a private car? Are you using a Mears transport? What are those transportation logistics more or less going to look like for your family? If you're in a private car, an Uber, a Lyft, you guys are going to need car seats when you land. That's why I suggest having car seats in the airplane. Most of the Mears, like shuttle services, the bus type transportations, does not require you to have your child in a car seat. But again, it is safer to have your child in a car seat. None of the Disney transportation, the complimentary transportation, requires your children to be in car seats, but minivans are like a Uber/Lyft type situation. They're actually done by Lyft, so you will need car seats for minivans. The good thing about minivans is they can supply car seats for you. You just book those in advance and make sure they know what kind of car seat that your child needs. All right, let's talk about our park bag essentials, because the worst thing is to be in the park with this huge, like 40-pound backpack and your whole back is sweaty and you've got things in there like, that you're never, ever, ever going to need. But what do you need in your park bag? We do carry a backpack, but we hook it, like I said before, on the back of the stroller, and hardly anybody ever carries it. We use it as a counterweight and throw it in the seat of the stroller when it even gets out, so the whole stroller doesn't tip over from the water bottles and everything else that's attached to the back of it. And we also, what we really like is fanny packs. So for lack of a better term, belt bag, I guess, if you're cool. But me and Kyle both have fanny packs, and we keep our ID, our money, and things that we need to have on our person, our phone, our charging brick for our phone. They stay in the fanny pack, and that way it's on our person. And that way it's something that doesn't get left on the stroller and get lost or stolen. I always carry like a few doses of main medication, Tylenol, Benadryl, stuff like that, a couple of Band-Aids in my fanny pack, some antibiotic wipes. But there is the baby care stations and the first aid stations that are available for use. I cannot stress enough about baby care stations. Go in there, check around. You got a tired toddler and you don't want to leave the park, don't have the time to leave the park. Check into the baby care station, go in and relax. Believe me, those are an absolute must do when you're at Disney parks with little kids. I always carry sunscreen with us, little sticks of like high SPF. I think ours is Neutrogena. We bring that with us in our park bags. Kyle likes to bring a little travel size deodorant. I always bring Body Glide, lip gloss. I bring extra socks for each person because there's nothing worse than walking around all day with wet socks. Bring ponchos, lightweight rain jackets, if that works better for your family. The cheap ponchos really don't work great. I do pack them for water rides. So if we're going to ride Splash Mountain and I don't want to get all wet, I'll just throw on a cheap poncho and then toss it. Probably not good for the environment, but it works. Make sure if you're going in the summer months that you guys take cooling towels for each person in your family, and you take a stroller fan. I also like to carry an umbrella, if not for rain, for shade. So those are must-have essentials, especially the stroller fan. The strollers, they get some airflow through them, but laying in that stroller can be really, really warm. So the fan is a lifesaver. My stroller fan connects to a little USB port. We can recharge it on the brick that we charge our phones with. So it makes it really easy so I don't have to carry extra batteries, which brings me to a brick. Make sure each adult in your party that's going to be using the My Disney Experience app, taking pictures, taking videos, anything along that, have a charging brick. They do have the fuel rods in the parks that you can exchange for free. I think right now they cost about $30, but then all day long you can just exchange it for another one, which is convenient, but I always just take my own. So, hydration and nutrition are key to successful trips with toddlers. Number one, keep them hydrated. Number two, snacks. Make sure there's some snacks in your park bag that will not melt. Everything is magical at Disney except the tap water's gross. My family does not like water on a normal day, and we definitely don't like nasty water. So I take some Crystal Lights is what we use, or Mio, something to flavor the water with to make sure my family stays hydrated while we're there. Bring insulated water bottles. Nobody likes warm, nasty Disney tap water. So Disney only does paper straws, and if that's an issue for your family like it is for mine, I always pack some silicone straws in our park bag. I also keep a few Ziploc bags. If we get a snack at the park, then I'm able to put that rest of it in a Ziploc bag if we don't finish it, and they can eat on it again later. Because kids are notorious for, they want something really, really bad. They have 3 bites of it, and then 2 hours later, like, oh, where's my cookie? And you're like, oh, well, I don't have it anymore. So this is great. Throw it in a Ziploc bag and keep it in your bag. Ziploc bags are also good for those water rides. Throw your phone in one, make sure it doesn't get wet. Worst nightmare, you're at Disney and your kid's lost. So let's talk about keeping safe when we're on vacation with toddlers. Make sure that you have an emergency plan. Make sure every adult in your party and the kids that are old enough to understand know what that plan is and know where the meetup location is if people become separated and you're not able to find somebody, or if their phone goes dead and you cannot find them. Make sure kids know what everybody's name tag looks like. Then you want them to look for Disney cast members. You want them to see what the name tag looks like. The costumes on the cast members change from area to area, from ride to ride, but the name tags pretty much stay the same. Teach even little kids that if they can't find mom and dad, to look for somebody with that Disney name tag on. Another great idea for lost kids. We bought some temporary tattoos that we could write our phone number on. Sure, I bought them on Amazon like I do everything else. They were great. We put them on. I didn't have to worry about them washing off of Eva's little arms. And if someone found her, they could easily see the number and give me and her father a call. If you do have a toddler that likes to explore, look into the tethers, the wrist tether, or the tether that attaches to a backpack. Once kids start to walk, they don't want to be in that stroller all the time. Sometimes they want to get out and burn off some energy. Disney is busy even on the least busiest days. And your kid can get away from you so quick. Like one time we were in a gift shop, turned around, I'm like, where's Eva? It is the worst feeling in the world, right? Luckily, she was close by. She'd just walk over to look at a different toy. But if you have that kid more or less on a leash, for lack of a better description, you know where they're at, and they get a little bit of freedom to walk around on their own. Just in general, be prepared, and that way you can relax and enjoy your Disney vacation. All right, last but not least, actually, I think this is the most important part. Like everything else, you can figure out while you're there. Touring the parks with little ones, this is something you cannot do over. So take it slow, right? This is their probably first trip, if maybe you haven't been in a while. And there's this pressure because you spent all this money to get it all done and see as much as you can. Don't. Keep a schedule like they keep at home. If they have a snack at 10 a.m., give them a snack at 10 a.m. If they usually are asleep by 12, please find somewhere to give them a nap or relax by 12. The baby care stations are great, but there's lots of little quiet corners that you can find in the Disney parks to relax and have a nap. Eva always just slept in her stroller while you were walking to the next thing, and it always worked out really well. But you know your kids. Plan your day around their schedule. Do not plan a 9 p.m. Cinderella's Royal Table reservation if your kids are normally in bed at 8 o'clock. That is not going to work. It is not going to be worth your time and money to listen to your kids scream, yell, and be miserable the entire time that you're there. Don't plan on getting up and going to Chef Mickey's at 7 a.m. if your kids don't wake up until 9 a.m. Yes, you want a rope drop. Yes, you want to stay for fireworks, but they are not going to enjoy all this magical stuff if you are pushing them past their limits. Which brings me to your kids are going to be overstimulated. I go to Disney and I'm overstimulated. That being said, there's ways to kind of just prepare for that, like you do everything else. There are sights, there are sounds, things are noisy. Even the dark, quiet rides, like Peter Pan and Winnie the Pooh, they are loud. I remember taking Eva and she was covering her ears because it was so loud in there. So just give them some grace, right? Like they're overstimulated. There's a lot going on. They're having a blast. Like they're having fun, but they're going to probably maybe need to pull that stroller canopy down, have a drink, have a snack, and just relax for a minute. Pushing your kids is not going to make this any more fun. And I know from experience because I was that mom. They were miserable and I was miserable. So if it's time for the afternoon parade and you want little Johnny to see it more than anything in the world, but he just needs to take a break. Like I said, just let him pull that little stroller canopy down and put the fan on him, give him a little snack, give him some cold water, and you go right ahead and enjoy that festival of fantasy. And enjoy the fact that your kid's not screaming the entire time. Another tip is to ease into rides and characters. So, rides especially, start slow. Ride the carousel. Ride Peter Pan. Try Little Mermaid, Winnie the Pooh. If your child's afraid of heights, Dumbo may not be your best option. So, and Goofy's Barnstormer is in no way a kiddie coaster. If you put a toddler on that for their first ride, you may not get them to ride anything for the rest of the trip. For me, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is a lot smoother. So I would say if you're wanting to test your kid on a ride and they meet the height requirements, try that one first. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the height restrictions on the rides that you want to ride and pull them up on YouTube and check out the most intense parts of the ride. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I forgot they got this really scary part in the middle of Winnie the Pooh about Humphlumps and Woozles. Make sure you plan more intense rides when your kids are happy, well rested, and fed. Not overfed, but fed. The same with characters. You never know what characters your kids are going to like and which ones they're not going to like. Eva hated the princesses. She did not want them to talk to her. But yet, when we met Mickey, Donald, Goofy, all those guys loved it. Absolutely loved it. So even though you know that Cinderella is absolutely Holly's favorite, she may be scared to death of her. So just, know that and just keep trying, but take it slow and don't force your kids to go up and give characters a hug or take pictures with them. If it seems like something they're not enjoying, what are those pictures going to look like anyway? Rider Switch is the most awesome tool in the Disney parks. You got big kids, you got little kids, you got parents or adults that want to ride some of those bigger rides. Guess what? Rider Switch is your option. Check in with the cast member at the front of the ride. Tell them you want to use Rider Switch. And this is what I love about it. So they scan all of you guys' magic bands or phones, and the first group goes. So one adult stays back with the younger child. The other adult takes the other children on the ride. When they get back, the adult that has been waiting with the younger child or with whoever didn't want to ride gets to go and gets to take those younger kids again. So the kids get to ride twice. And I just think that is absolutely awesome. Lastly, when you're touring with kids, do you get through a day at home without a tantrum? At 2, 3, 4 years old, they still have very little control over their emotions. So tantrums are absolutely inevitable. Expect them, prepare for them, Know that just because your kid is having a meltdown in the middle of Disney World, it doesn't make you a bad parent, and it doesn't mean they're not enjoying their vacation. I know it's frustrating when you put a lot of money and a lot of work into your vacation and your kid is having a meltdown on Main Street, but you are not going to help your child calm down by getting upset with them. You know this when you're at home with them, and with the added stress of Disney, just remind yourself, this is not a reflection of who you are as a parent. This is not a reflection that your kid hates Disney World. This is just them being 2 and 3 years old. Expect the tantrum, roll with it. Be ready to change your plans at any time. I was the mom with the rigid plans. I was the mom, we were staying late for extra magic hours, and then we had us to get up at 6 a.m. for our breakfast reservation. In 2 days, my family was absolutely miserable. Don't be that mom. Don't. Follow these tips for a great time at Disney with your toddler. And when you're ready to book your Disney vacation, or you just have some questions you need answered, please reach out. I am here to help. This is what I love to do. Have any extra tips that I missed? Drop them down below in the comments. Also, like, comment, share this video for all those parents out there, all those adults that are planning on taking little ones to Disney. Have a great day, guys. See you real soon.